Houston Rockets versus Milwaukee Bucks. Two rising powers collide in Milwaukee as the Houston Rockets, 5-3, visit the Milwaukee Bucks, 6-3, in a cross-conference clash that feels bigger than early November. Houston sits third in the Southwest, chasing San Antonio, while Milwaukee holds fourth in the East, within striking distance of Detroit and Chicago. The matchup predictor tilts narrowly toward Houston, but that edge comes with context. The Rockets' offensive rhythm meets a Bucks squad fueled by one of the league's most dominant players. This one isn't just a test, it's a tone setter for how each team's early season surge stacks up against playoff-caliber competition. Houston's offense has been electric, averaging 122.9 points per game with balanced efficiency, 49% from the field, 36% from deep, and nearly 79% from the line. Alperen Sengun's versatility has been the engine, nearly averaging a double-double with 22.8 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 7.4 assists. Kevin Durant remains the closer, pacing the Rockets with 24.0 points per game on 47% shooting and 88.7% at the stripe. Jabari Smith Jr. anchors the paint with a team-high 1.0 blocks per game, while Josh Okogie's 1.5 steals per night bring perimeter grit. Houston plays fast, confident, and creative, ranking among the top offenses in points and assists while maintaining ball security with just 16 turnovers per game. Milwaukee, meanwhile, thrives on its star power and size. Giannis Antetokounmpo is delivering an MVP-level start, 33.4 points, 12.9 rebounds, and 6.6 assists, while shooting over 50% from the floor and 83% from the line. Around him, the supporting cast provides balance. Ryan Rollins adds 13.0 points per game with energy and defense, 2.0 steals. Kyle Kuzma chips in 12.6 with spacing, and Miles Turner protects the rim with 2.0 blocks. The Bucks average 120.6 points per game, hitting 50.2% from the field, but have been streaky from three at 26.7%. They compensate with rebounding dominance, 42.2 boards a night, and a physical interior style that forces opponents into tough second-chance shots. The matchup theme is clear: Houston's pace and perimeter movement versus Milwaukee's physicality and inside-out execution. One thrives in transition and ball rotation, the other in half-court muscle and glass control. Houston's efficiency edge from deep could stretch Milwaukee's defense, but if the Bucks establish rebounding control early, they can dictate tempo and grind possessions down. Houston has won 3 of its last 4, beating Memphis, Dallas, and Boston with authority. Their only slip, a loss to San Antonio, exposed transition defense issues, not scoring. Milwaukee rebounded with a 126-110 win over Chicago after losses to Toronto and Sacramento. When their offense flows, they're dominant, but inconsistent perimeter defense keeps opponents in striking range. The spotlight falls on Durant and Antetokounmpo, two legends with contrasting styles. Durant thrives on precision and rhythm, mastering the mid-range and dictating tempo. Antetokounmpo attacks with raw power and speed, overwhelming defenses through sheer force. Durant's 47% shooting and 36% from 3 reflect control. Giannis's 33.4 points on 50% show dominance. It's finesse versus fury, every possession a clash of art and power. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Houston Rockets winner. Tactically, Houston's key lies in spacing and ball speed. Sengun's playmaking out of the post could pull Milwaukee's rim protectors away, opening lanes for cutters and shooters. For the Bucks, the mission is to punish Houston inside, attacking mismatches, crashing the offensive glass, and forcing Durant and Smith to defend physically. Milwaukee's rebounding edge, 42-34 per game, and defensive length make them dangerous in the half-court, but Houston's superior perimeter shooting and assist flow, 26.1 per game, could tilt the rhythm back in their favor. bench depth may prove decisive. Houston's second unit, Tari Eason, Reed Shepherd, and Steven Adams, brings stability and spacing, while Milwaukee's reserves rely on efficiency from Bobby Portis and Cole Anthony to maintain tempo. With both teams missing key pieces, Giannis listed day-to-day, Van Vliet and Finney-Smith out for Houston, execution under pressure will matter more than personnel. This feels like a classic tug-of-war between structure and speed. If Milwaukee turns it into a half-court slugfest, Giannis can take over. But if Houston's spacing holds and Durant stays in rhythm, the Rockets' offensive cohesion could overwhelm late. Houston's balance, perimeter depth, and playmaking lift them past Milwaukee's interior dominance. Expect Durant to close strong, Şengün to orchestrate efficiently, and the Rockets to make just enough stops in the fourth to secure a statement road win in Milwaukee. Prediction: total pick for this match is over 226.5. Boston Celtics versus Orlando Magic, two teams separated by a single win and chasing early season rhythm meet in Orlando with plenty on the line. The Celtics sit at 4-6, fourth in the Atlantic, and fighting to climb back toward .500. The Magic, at 4-5 and fourth in the Southeast, are coming off a confidence-restoring win and now get a chance to build momentum at home. This matchup feels like a statement opportunity for both sides, one trying to steady, the other trying to surge. The probability leans toward Orlando, but the margin is tight enough that execution, not talent, should decide it. Boston's numbers define a team still searching for balance. They're scoring 113.0 points per game, shooting 44.7% from the field with 42.5 rebounds, but inconsistency in shot selection and defensive rotations have held them back. Orlando brings a touch more scoring punch at 117.0 points per game, powered by physical drives, transition tempo, and more consistent ball pressure on defense. The Magic are shooting 47.8%, grabbing 45.1 rebounds, and showing stronger late-game composure. The Celtics rely on Jaylen Brown's 28.1 PPG and Derek White's 5.2 assists, while Neemias Queta quietly anchors the interior with 8.1 rebounds and 1.4 blocks. For Orlando, Franz Wagner's 22.6 PPG pairs seamlessly with Paolo Banchero's 9.4 boards and 4.4 assists, forming a young, multi-dimensional frontcourt. Statistically, Boston wins through structure. Orlando thrives through instinct. It's a clash between perimeter execution and paint control, discipline versus force. Form tells the sharper story. Boston has dropped 3 of its last 5, including a 123-110 loss to this same Magic team, a defeat that exposed defensive lapses in transition. Their lone bright spots, wins over Washington and Charlotte, showed cleaner spacing and pace but still lacked closing precision. Orlando, meanwhile, has split its last 5 with key wins against Boston and Detroit, signaling growing chemistry and offensive flow. Over that span, the Magic have averaged 122 points per game, with stronger shooting and fewer turnovers. The Celtics' defense has slipped, allowing 117 per night, and that margin has become the difference between late-game control and collapse. Momentum sits firmly with the Magic entering this rematch. The star duel may define everything. Jaylen Brown, averaging 28.1 points on 53.5% shooting, is Boston's heartbeat, a relentless scorer who creates pressure from every spot on the floor. His rhythm off the dribble and explosiveness in mid-range make him nearly unguardable when in sync. Across from him, Franz Wagner brings a smoother, more methodical attack. 22.6 points, 49.7% from the field, and 37.5% from 3, balancing his drives with finesse around the rim. Wagner's chemistry with Banchero adds layers to Orlando's half-court sets, allowing both to switch roles as scorers or facilitators. Brown's aggressiveness will test Orlando's rotations, but Wagner's efficiency and patience may prove more sustainable across 4 quarters. With Jason Tatum sidelined, Boston's offensive weight now rests squarely on Brown's consistency, demanding he balance scoring bursts with smarter shot selection and elevated playmaking throughout. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Orlando Magic winner. Tactically, this matchup comes down to execution under pressure. The Celtics excel when spacing is intact. White orchestrating, Brown attacking, Hauser shooting, but falter when teams switch and shrink the lane. Orlando's rebounding edge and second chance creation could dictate tempo. Banchero and Carter Jr. provide relentless interior presence, while Jalen Suggs adds ball pressure that disrupts Boston's perimeter flow. If Keita avoids early fouls and Boston's bench delivers through Peyton Pritchard's shooting and Sam Hauser's spacing, they can hang around deep into the fourth. Still, Orlando's bench depth, defensive energy, and athletic closeouts have been difference makers lately. They generate turnovers and force chaos, turning defense into quick points. Expect an intense physical tone early. The Celtics will push pace, trying to draw Orlando's bigs out of the paint, while the Magic will counter by crashing the glass and living in the mid-post. Every possession will feel contested. As fatigue sets in, the home team's rhythm and rebounding depth should tilt control their way. Boston's efficiency might keep things tight for 3 quarters, but Orlando's balance and confidence under their home lights look more sustainable. Orlando's size, chemistry, and interior control close the door late, extending Boston's frustration on the road while fueling the Magic's climb up the standings. The Celtics flash stretches of brilliance, but Orlando's toughness turns this rematch into another early season statement win. Prediction. Total pick for this match is over 221.5. Detroit Pistons versus Philadelphia 76ers. The stage is set in Philadelphia, and the matchup couldn't feel more balanced. Detroit, sitting atop the Central Division at 7-2, 3-1 on the road, rides early season momentum into hostile territory. The 76ers, 5-3, 2-1 at home, and third in the Atlantic, have been unpredictable but potent. Both teams rank among the league's top 10 in scoring, and the matchup predictor gives a slim 55-45 edge to the home side. It's a collision of youth-driven pace against veteran precision, and the outcome could hint at early playoff pecking order in the East. Detroit's ascent has been led by Cade Cunningham, who's commanding every offensive set at 25.6 points and 9.7 assists per game, orchestrating a unit averaging 116.7 points while shooting efficiently at 47.8% from the floor. The Pistons rebound with muscle, 47.9 per game, spearheaded by Jalen Duren's 11.3 boards, and protect the rim with Isaiah Stewart's 2.1 blocks anchoring the paint. Their scoring depth is emerging fast. Rookie Ozzer Thompson adds 20.6 points, and Tobias Harris, before injury, chipped in 18.0. Detroit plays with controlled pace, emphasizing spacing and ball movement over isolation. Defensively, their 6.4 blocks and 9.3 steals per game reflect an aggressive, pressure-driven style that sparks transition opportunities. Philadelphia answers with elite shot-making and star efficiency. Tyrese Maxey has taken full control of the offense, averaging 33.5 points and 8.5 assists on blistering 47.8% shooting, including 38% from deep and 85.7% from the line. Kelly Oubre Jr. complements with 19.1 per game, and Joel Embiid, in limited action, has still produced 18.9 points and 5.6 rebounds while altering everything defensively. The 76ers lead the Pistons in team scoring, 123.3 PPG, and assists, 26.5, emphasizing ball flow and perimeter spacing over brute interior volume. They average 42.6 rebounds per game and 14.5 turnovers, a stat that often dictates outcomes. When they limit mistakes, they're dangerous. When sloppy, they fuel opponents' fast breaks. Recent form tells two different stories. The Pistons have been on a tear, winning 5 straight, all against quality competition. Victories over Brooklyn, 125-107, Utah, 114-103, and Memphis, 114-106, show a team closing strong and defending late. They've averaged 120 points per game in that stretch, limiting opponents to under 110. Philadelphia, on the other hand, has been uneven. A 119-105 win over Boston highlighted their offensive rhythm, but losses to Cleveland and Washington exposed defensive gaps and rebounding issues. Philadelphia's offense swings between explosive and stagnant, while Detroit thrives on steady pace and balanced rotations. This matchup centers on Cade Cunningham and Tyrese Maxey. Cunningham's balanced game, efficient shooting and sharp playmaking, sets Detroit's rhythm. Maxey counters with speed and relentless scoring, logging over 41 minutes a night as Philly's engine. Cunningham's control meets Maxey's explosiveness in a duel of tempo and endurance. Both should top 25 points, but whoever owns the fourth quarter pace will likely claim the game. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Detroit Pistons winner. Tactically, this game comes down to rebounding control and turnover tempo. Detroit owns the boards and thrives in second-chance sequences. Duren and Stewart dominate vertical space, giving the Pistons extra possessions against smaller front courts. Philadelphia leans on spacing and transition. Their 42.6 rebounds are offset by shooting precision, particularly if Oubre and Grimes stretch Detroit's defense. The Sixers' challenge is rim protection without overcommitting. Adam Bona's 1.6 blocks per game will be tested by Cunningham's drives and Duren's lob pressure. Bench depth favors Detroit as well, with consistent minutes from Javonte Green and rookie Ronald Holland keeping the defensive intensity constant, while Philadelphia's rotation depends heavily on rhythm from veterans like Lowry and Drummond. Expect Detroit to hunt mismatches through high screens and staggered cuts, while the Sixers counter with drive and kick fluidity to create open looks beyond the arc. Ultimately, the Pistons' structure feels steadier. Their defensive rotations are cleaner, their rebounding edge is clear, and Cunningham's orchestration gives them balance even in tight moments. Philadelphia's scoring punch will keep things close, but without Paul George and Dominic Barlow in the lineup, their front court depth is limited. Expect Maxey to flash brilliance, but Detroit's two-way rhythm, rebounding dominance, disciplined shot creation, and consistent pace should tilt the scale late. Detroit wins a statement road game on composure and control, proving their early surge is no fluke, and sending a message that the East's balance of power might be shifting sooner than expected. Prediction: total pick for this match is over 227.5. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Sacramento Kings. Minnesota rolls into Sacramento with quiet momentum and a growing sense of purpose. At 5-4, the Timberwolves sit 7th in the Western Conference, looking to extend a modest win streak and solidify their spot among early playoff hopefuls. Sacramento, meanwhile, enters at 3-6, mired near the bottom of the Pacific Division and searching for rhythm in front of their home crowd at Golden One Center. The analytics lean Minnesota's way, a 63.3% win probability that underscores their balanced play on both ends. Yet in a league built on streaks and swings, that edge means nothing if the Kings rediscover their trademark offensive firepower. The Timberwolves have been steady, averaging 118.8 points per game while allowing 115.9. Their offense is built around rhythm, spacing, and the inside-out versatility of Julius Randle, who's putting up 25.9 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 6.3 assists per night. He's the heartbeat of Minnesota's attack, commanding double teams, punishing mismatches, and opening space for Anthony Edwards' explosive drives. Edwards chips in 18.9 points per game on 50% shooting, giving Minnesota a dual-threat scoring core. The Wolves also lean on Rudy Gobert's physicality inside, 9.7 rebounds, 1.4 blocks, and his trademark rim protection that keeps opponents hesitant in the paint. They're hitting 47.6% from the field and nearly 36% from deep, solid marks that show their improved offensive consistency. Sacramento remains potent, but inconsistent. The Kings average 115.1 points, yet allow 121.7, erasing much of their offensive success. Zach LaVine leads with 25.1 points on 51% shooting, while DeRozan adds 19.6 through steady mid-range work. Sabonis anchors the paint with 14.5 points and 14.2 rebounds, though defensive lapses limit his impact. Schroeder contributes 7.0 assists, but struggles with turnovers and spacing. Despite shooting 47.8% from the field, Sacramento's lack of defensive discipline continues to hold them back. Minnesota thrives on balance and ball movement, averaging 28.6 assists that highlight Randle's playmaking and their smooth half-court rhythm. Sacramento pushes pace and creativity, but often sacrifices efficiency, averaging 14 turnovers while allowing 8.9 steals and 3.7 blocks. Gobert anchors Minnesota's defense, while Sacramento's interior falters without Sabonis. It's a clash of styles. Minnesota's structure and precision against Sacramento's fast, unpredictable tempo. Minnesota enters hot, riding a 3-game win streak with dominant wins over Utah and New York that showcased rhythm and chemistry. Their lone setback, a narrow loss to Brooklyn, only sharpened their focus. Sacramento, meanwhile, has dropped 3 of 4, struggling defensively and allowing 130-plus in 3 straight defeats before edging Chicago. The Kings play hard but can't sustain stops, a flaw Minnesota's balanced attack is built to exploit. The spotlight falls on Julius Randle and Zach LaVine, 2 veterans leading their teams with contrasting styles. Randle's strength and control fuel his all-around game, shooting 42.6% from deep and 88% at the line. LaVine brings explosiveness, averaging 25.1 points on 51% shooting and 39% from 3. Both are in all-star form, but Randle's rebounding and playmaking give Minnesota a more balanced attack, while LaVine needs strong support from DeRozan and Sabonis to keep pace. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Minnesota Timberwolves winner. From a tactical lens, this game pivots on control. If the Timberwolves dictate pace and force the Kings into half-court possessions, their defensive structure will smother Sacramento's rhythm. Gobert's rebounding and rim protection will test Sabonis's endurance, while Minnesota's guards look to pressure Schroeder into early turnovers. On the flip side, the Kings must push tempo, create mismatches in transition, and open the floor for LaVine's scoring bursts. Their bench, anchored by Malik Monk and Drew Eubanks, must inject shooting and physicality to survive Minnesota's depth. The X factors: Anthony Edwards' two-way aggression, and Sacramento's ability to hit perimeter shots under pressure. If Edwards controls both ends, Minnesota's margin for error widens dramatically. Prediction: Minnesota's structure, size, and two-way balance give them the upper hand. The Timberwolves are scoring efficiently, defending with discipline, and showing late-game composure, all areas where Sacramento has wavered. Expect Randle and Edwards to combine for another statement performance, while Gobert neutralizes Sabonis inside. LaVine and DeRozan will make their runs, but defensive gaps and rebounding struggles should tilt momentum Minnesota's way. Minnesota continues its climb in the West, while Sacramento faces another night of searching for defensive answers under the bright lights of Golden One Center. Prediction: total pick for this match is over 229.5.